Yo, just so you understand it, this is Coach Carvel Bailey's program with the spirit of Bob Hambry.
This is Blessed to Ball, helping athletes, and we represent. Study your craft, your mentality leads to excellence. It's all about your mindset. We'll never stop addressing this, so be positive and not a pessimist. Confidence took James Harden higher. If you really want it, it ain't gonna be easy. It's gonna be hard as carbon fiber, but we got you. From counseling to workshops, we do it. You'll go farther with a scholarship. We'll help you get recruited. Yo, anyone can dribble and shoot, but it's the ones who study basketball internally that make it to Duke University. Knowledge goes around. The game is played from the neck up and not from the shoulders down. This is Blessed to Ball, helping you with obstacles. The athletes are the rocket. Blessed to Ball is the rocket fuel. If you hit a wall, we can help you slowly climb it. So keep a Mamba mentality like Kobe Bryant.
Blessed to Ball.
Cherish the opportunities that you have.
Blessed to Ball.
Use your mentality to master the craft.
Blessed to Ball.
Come join our team, it's a new day. Follow our steps and watch how much better you play.
Blessed to Ball.
Cherish the opportunities that you have.
Blessed to Ball.
Use your mentality to master the craft.
Blessed to Ball.
Come join our team, it's a new day. Follow our steps and watch how much better you play. Yo, Coach Carvel Bailey. Hey, listen to your coach, man. He ain't no scrub off the street. That man got credentials, academic and street. Believe it, and my name is Strategic.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Welcome to the show. This is Coach Carvel Bailey, and this is another episode of Lunch and Learn. Listen, let me know what city and state you're checking in from, right? Let me know what city and state you're checking in from. We always like to know how far our messages travel and who all we can help in different regions and areas of the world, not just the country, but the world. All right. So I want to welcome you. If this is your first time being here, my name is Coach Carvel Bailey, and I help high school guards with the tools needed to be able to help their confidence, their IQ, their basketball skill set, as well as their exposure to help them become more recruitment ready. All right. And so I got my Facebook and my Instagram crew right here. I got my Facebook and YouTube crew right here. Got my Instagram crew right here. And listen, today, I'm not going to say today only, but I'm speaking to the parents, the real parents today. I'm speaking to the old school parents today that really want to help their kid elevate and go to that next level. And so I'm not sure what type of parenting you do. I'm not here to criticize or condone or even like brag on what type of parenting skills you have. But for those real parents, right, for those parents that are old school and get down and dirty, and check up on their kids, this is for you today. So is this one thing hurting your athlete, right? It could be one thing. Your athlete can be an amazing basketball player. They can be an elite guard, right? They can have tremendous grades, right? They can score a lot of points, but it may be one thing that may be seriously affecting your basketball player. And what is that? We're on it right here. We are on it right here. Social media, right? Their social media can be hurting them and can be the difference from them getting where they want to be to where they are to where they want to be. Okay. So I got my notes on a note card today, right? So I'm going to run through them. Not going to be before you all very long. Share this with somebody that you know that can benefit from this. And if you happen to be catching the replay, anytime you're not catching the live, catching the replay, just comment replay below and what city and state you watching from. If you're joining us now, right? Don't just hide behind the camera. Let's be interactive. I like socializing with those people that socialize back. So let me know what city and state that you're checking in from. All right. But coaches across the country, right? They have a method in which they follow. They're looking at different things, different aspects when they go out recruiting athletes, right? We know that there's the evaluation, right? There's scouting, then there's recruitment, okay? If they have interest in you, then they will begin the recruitment. But the recruitment phase, it goes through a lot of different areas. So first thing, I want my parents to understand that your athlete is not the only one Your athlete is not the only one. Nicole, how you doing today? Your athlete is not the only one being recruited. You are being recruited also. You, the parent, are also being recruited. So don't get it twisted, right? Get my tea today, right? You're not the only one. Your athlete is not the only one being recruited. You're also being recruited. Nicole, what city and state you are you all from? I forget. I think it's somewhere down south. But your athlete is not the only one being recruited. You're being recruited. Okay. So understand, there you go. Yep, South Carolina, Summersville, South Carolina. How you doing? So understand that coaches are looking to have people that they can have relationships with for about 4 years. Nowadays, sometimes it's 5 because they understand that things happen or athletes may go on to graduate school, but they're looking to lock a kid in or build a relationship with the kid for about 4 to 5 years. So can they tolerate or manage the kid, the athlete, but also can they tolerate, deal with, and be able to have a relationship with the parent? So if you're that parent that's super loud in the crowd, super critical, just know when coaches come out and you want your athlete to get exposure, they're checking you out too. I've walked away from many athletes because I heard their parents in the stands criticizing the refs, going in on coach, and I don't want to deal with that with me, and most coaches don't. So those athletes get lined out, right? Coaches don't want to deal with those things. But one of the silent things that hurts athletes, and they don't even know, is their social media. So I'm gonna give you a few different things to be able to help your athlete, right, with social media. First of all, your athlete is a brand. They're representing their brand. What's their brand? Themselves. They're representing themselves. They are the brand. So is your athlete using social media for business or pleasure? Or are they using social media for both business and pleasure? And if they're using it for both business and pleasure, are they balancing it out? Knowing that they are the brand. Coach Carvel Bailey, I am the brand. So I use social media for business and personal, but the way I use my social media personally overlaps back into my business because I'm representing my brand. Bless the ball, right? Coach Carvel Bailey, my family, I'm representing the brand. So if your athlete is just on social media just to consume the information, that's probably not a good thing. If they're just consumers and they're not necessarily producers, right? Are other people looking at them or are they just consuming everything else? That's one. So they should be on social media, using social media from the business side as a business also, meaning their workouts, their games, on the bus with teams, they AAU walking through the airport, right? Father's Day, Mother's Day, family events. Tell the coach something about them. Social media is a great way, if used properly, to be able to get individuals to understand more about you. Does that make sense? Right? So even me, I post pictures of my family, my kids, things that I'm doing, things that I'm thinking about, because I want for my audience, you all, to see me as a human being, not just somebody sitting behind the camera that knows a lot about basketball and life and teaches it and does very well with it. So I'm showing you me. So your athlete should be using social media with the mindset of business first, and then the personal will overlap into the business. And their business is being a student athlete. That's their business, being a student athlete. The second thing your athlete should be doing is understanding, and I just spoke about it a little bit, but everything that they're doing, they're marketing. And in marketing, you're pulling people closer to you or you're pushing people further away from you. So what is your athlete posting that's drawing people closer to them or having people ignore them and pushing them further away? So if they understand social media should be used from a business concept, and even with the personal, it should overlap into the business, they should also understand that it's about marketing. How are they marketing themselves on social media? Now, are they marketing themselves, right? Going into my third point with different graphics, right? So I'll tell you a story. I had an athlete and I was at work. I didn't work in the college, in a particular college, the building that I was coaching for. I was at my high school and I logged on because I always get all my athletes' social media logged on. And one of my athletes is like has a gun on his profile. And I got off social media, called. I said, like, listen, and this is what I told him. I said, it's like 1:30 now. I said, practice started at 3:30. By the time I walk in the gym, that picture better be off your social media. So, oh, Coach, man, I was just posting it for my boys. It ain't nothing wrong, right? That you got 2 hours to have that picture off your social media account, or you won't play for me no more. Oh, well, why, Coach? Right? Like, you're representing yourself, but you're also representing me. Then I had another player that wasn't playing for me, but he was the same way, right? He had like a might have been an AR-15, right? And he got it on the ground and got his hand on it and just standing there. And now he has his FOID card, his firearms owner identification card. And he was like, Coach, ain't nothing wrong with it. Like, I got my FOID card. That's not the point. You may have your FOID card. You may be a member of the NRA. But that's not the point. You should not post that on your timeline if you're playing for somebody else, unless you're in a position in which you can write your own checks, you can make your own decisions. It's probably not a good look. How many people remember the young lady prom picture? And I posted it on we had a candid conversation, and she posed with guns. Does anybody remember that? Anybody saw that? Well, what happened? She was a straight A student, had a full ride scholarship, and guess what? She wasn't allowed to graduate her high school. Her scholarship at college got revoked. Right? Those are two critical things for a person representing their brand. So what type of images is your athlete posing, right? Throwing gang signs, firearms, right? Liquor, drugs. What type of images are they showing? Now, everything doesn't have to be them in the gym. Everything doesn't have to be surrounded around basketball. No, because they are a person. They are a human being. But what type of images are they showing? Because images stick in the mind of people. I can talk, but if I show you a picture, it will probably stick with you a little bit further. So what type of images are they showing and displaying on their social media? And is that helpful or hurtful? And here's why I say to real parents. I challenge you today, if you don't already have the password to your kids' social media, I challenge you today to sit down with them and go through their social media, or get the password and go through their social media. Now, you can give them warning if you want, but just know that a lot of young people have double accounts. A lot of, and this working in a school with high school students and athletes, I understand a lot of high school students say, I have this account so my parents can see, but then I have another account. Like I have a hidden account. And so it may not be a lot on that account. If you see your athlete always on the phone, always on social media, but you get to their account and it's not really a lot of things on there, it means two things. They have another account, or they're just wasting their time consuming on social media. And they definitely shouldn't just sit and consume social media, again, they should be producing on social media. And producing our images, right? But here's another thing. What type of things are they sharing? Because now as a college coach, I come on their timeline, be it Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok. If I'm missing anything, somebody list it, right? It's a whole lot of different social medias. But are they sharing things on social media? Is not a good representation of their brand. Again, everything goes back to their brand. So are they sharing things, right? They don't have to post it themselves, but are they sharing things? Is not a good representation of their brand. Are they sharing videos, people with guns and all of that, right? Drugs, or are they sharing demeaning things, derogatory things? What are they sharing? So not only what are they posting, what are they sharing? I'm trying to help you today, because these are the things that will be like a force field to coaches. No, I'm not messing with them. I'm not messing with them. So what type of things are they posting? What type of things are they sharing? Graphics and all that. Also, right? Okay, James, you say, okay, who are their friends on social media? And this is a big thing. And I'm going to lean in for a minute, because going through COVID, right, since 2020, March of 2020, kids have been confined to their phones or their electrical devices, because everybody at some point in time was shut into their home. And we were all, as coaches, as adults, as kids, as athletes, we were all doing things and looking for things to get our minds off of what was really going on, reality in the world. And that brings me back to consumption. Too much consumption of anything is not good. And so what happened is it affected everyone's, and I don't use definites all the time, but it affected majority of people mental state, emotional state. And it caused our young kids to not be as socially confident as they were some years ago. There's a lot of social anxiety, even for basketball players, especially guards. And guards have to be able to communicate with their team, with their coaches, with the officials. But it's easier for athletes to communicate here than communicate verbally. So I'm saying all that to where on social media, we have a lot of friends, or we have a lot of followers, or we follow a lot of people. But those people aren't necessarily friends to our kids. It's really not their friends. Right? James said he definitely agrees. So what friends do they have on their social media? And now I'm going to give you a trick. I'm going to always dig deeper. I'm going to dig deeper until I know that this is a goal, or it's smoke, so it's got to be fire. If your athlete is always sharing something, I'm going to probably click and sharing something from the same person. I'm probably click on that person's timeline, profile, to see what they're about. Because my dad told me something back in college, and it didn't hit me until I got older. And when he told me this, I was around the wrong group. And he said this. He said, Carvel, I'm going to tell you this, it's going to stay with you for the rest of your life. And I was walking down the street from college, right? I was walking down the street from class, going to one of my buddy's house, right, to probably do something I shouldn't have been doing as a college student, whatever that might have been, right? Should have been studying in the gym, whatever. But he said this. He said, "You show me your friends, I tell you your future." He said, "You show me your friends, I can tell you your future." And I felt convicted right then, even though I really didn't understand it, but I knew I wasn't where I was supposed to be. I'm like, man, is this dude, does he have a tracker of me? You know what I'm saying? Like, did he just see me walking down the streets of Chicago or something? Like, what's going on? Show me your friends, I'll tell you your future. So who your athlete is calling friend on social media, coaches are now tracking them too. Because if they're your friend, or if you're posting things, tagging them in it, or if people are posting things, tagging you in it, right? Against social media, maybe your athlete doesn't have certain controls on their social media, right? Maybe they don't have certain controls on their social media. So maybe anybody can just tag them in anything. Well, I'm like seeing fights or somebody robbing somebody or something that not supposed to happen. And now I'm going to tag, right, James. I'm going to tag Nicole. I'm going to tag Tiffany. I'm going to tag Coach Smith, right? Like, but that don't have nothing to do with me. But now you're being tagged in it, so it shows up on your timeline. Shows up on your athlete's timeline. Oh, let me look a little bit deeper into this. Let me see what this is, and then let me see who's tagging them in it, or let me see who they're sharing things from. Now let me see what their opinion, what their mindset is, what their brand is, and how is this going to affect me and my job and my family, right? Instagram can see it, right? Right? And my family, right? How is this going to affect me? How are their decisions going to affect me and my family? That's how coaches think. And what do you mean by that, Carvel? Because if you do something, and just like I have the ticker at the bottom of YouTube and Facebook, right? I don't want to see my athlete's name at 3 o'clock in the morning on the bottom of the news, Sports Center, none of that stuff. Because then they're going to call me in the office, the athletic director, and I can probably be fired. Because after so many times on the college level, here's what they call it. They call it a lack of institutional control. They call it a lack of institutional control. So now because your athlete has friends who they've never met, they just think it's cool, or they may know of somebody through somebody, so now they're friends and they're maybe communicating here, but they haven't had a verbal conversation. They haven't like went out and hung out. They haven't spent time together. Now they're sharing things, or they're being tagged in things that's not representing their brand, and it costs them a scholarship, which costs you money to now have to pay for them to go to school, where the Orange basketball could have paid for them to go to school or help pay for them to go to school. It can either happen that way, or the coach bring them on and the coach get fired. These are complete facts. So what's on your athlete's social media? That one thing can be hurting them. And now if your athlete has multiple social media, every new social media come out, they're on it. That means that they're spending a lot of time consuming. And it probably also means that they're doing things on one social media and probably forgot about it, because now the new social media platform come out and now they're all into that. Like my daughter told me the other day, she was like, don't nobody really even be on Snapchat anymore. I'm like, for real? She's like, yeah, because if they're on TikTok or Twitter or whatever that may be. And so where you get a lot of recruiting services, scouting services, and just people will tell you, like, go on Twitter. Like, connect with coaches on Twitter. Connect with, like, send emails to coaches and all those things. before they start doing all of those things, are these same people telling you to make sure that your athlete's house is cleaned up? And what do I mean by their house, right? Their character. Make sure their character is clean. Their grades, their social media. Right? What are they doing to put themselves in position for a coach to say that athlete is recruitable? Are they making themselves more recruitment ready? I always say it's bigger than just shooting a jump shot. And most people won't have these type of conversations with you. But I will. So I just want you to know, to help your athlete to put themselves in a better position, and even a better position than somebody that may be a little bit more skilled than they are, but your athlete can beat them to the punch because your athlete is more valuable overall than the person that can just score. They're a terrible person. Sometimes people may not want to hear that, but there are, some people just do terrible things. They're a terrible person. But they may do something well, but that may not be what I need for my program. So just in recapping, right? Social media, is your athlete using it for business or personal? Are they using it for business or personal? Understand their main priority of social media should be to be used for business because they are the brand. And using it for business, when they do use it personally and share personal things, that should be a reflection of their business. What's their business? Their brand. Student athlete, number one. Second thing, they should understand that social media is a marketing tool for them representing their brand with their job as a student athlete. The third thing, they should monitor the images they post on social media. The fourth thing, they should monitor the shares, what they're sharing, right? Not so much who's sharing what they're doing, because that's a form of marketing, right? If everyone that's watching this video live or on the replay was to share it with 3 other people because you understand that this information is valuable. Matter of fact, everyone is watching it right now, right? I want you to hit the share button and share it to at least 3 people, and then just drop share in the comments. Because if you missed a valuable class like this, you will want somebody to share it with you. But what sharing does is it enhances the brand recognition for your athlete. But if they're posting fights and everybody share that, that's saying something about their brand also. But what are they sharing? And is it representing their brand in the right way? And then fifth, what are they just posting regularly? What are they posting regularly? What's being posted regularly? And with that, what's being posted regularly, right? Now I'm going to overtime a little bit. I'm going to overtime, right? Keith, you understand it, right? Nicole, you shared it, right? When you share it with at least 3 people, and then comment, share, right? Comment, share. I'm going to overtime a little bit. Your athlete should be posting at least 3 times a day. At least 3 times a day. Now, what should they be posting? Something representing their brand. They could post a good quote. They could post an image, right? They could post a video on Instagram. They could post a reel. They could post to their stories, right? But something representing them. That way it keeps them in the news feed. Does that make sense? So now when Coach AB or Coach KB, Coach AKB is on, let's say, Twitter or Instagram, if I'm going through reels, your athlete's reel just may pop up. Not all that, hey, I like that. Let me follow them. Or your athlete posts something on Twitter or share something, right, from another coach or somebody else that's meaningful. Now those people that's following that particular person that posted it, right? Now when your athlete shares it, that person's name again is going to pop up in their timeline. It's like somebody shared something that your athlete posted, or tag your athlete in something somebody posted. It's going to show up in their timeline. Now your athlete shares something, let's say from Coach Carvel Bailey. Well, now it's going to pop up on my timeline because shared it with me, and it's one of my videos. Well, now that means if coaches are connected to me and they see who shared it, guess what? They may just click, oh, let me see who shared this, right? This is a great soundbite. This is a great video. This is a great class. Let me see who thought enough to share this, right? In the church world, they call it a coattail blessing. In church world, they call it a coattail blessing, right? So it's many, many, many benefits to using social media, but it's also a lot of distractions, and it's a lot of things that may not be well for your athlete when we're talking social media. And then finally, who are their friends and what are their friends doing? And are their friends representing them and their brand in a good way? Right? And when your athlete can fully understand this, now they're playing chess and everybody else is playing checkers. And then, as I always say, there are some people that don't even know it's a game being played because they just on social media consuming. And they're not using it for their benefit to put themselves in the best situation possible to be more recruitment ready. So use this information, right? Use this information. I posted earlier today, someone, a gentleman on YouTube, right? So have been tuning in to these classes, right? He doesn't even have an athlete that plays basketball, right? His athlete plays another sport. And he's like, I've been taking these things and using them because it's universal. I'm just great at what I do, right? I can work with all athletes, but instead of working with all athletes, I work with basketball players. In the last 30 days, 30 to 45 days, I've now narrowed it down to where I'm working specifically with guards, because majority of my success has come from working with guards, getting them to have a guard mindset. Big guard, little guard, fat guard, skinny guard, slow guard, combo guard, point guard, right? Everybody wants to be a guard anyway, but they don't have the mentality to be a guard. Guards are leaders. Not taking nothing away from the big man or the post. And not saying if your athlete plays in the post that I can't help them, because I can. But we know who we work with. So if your athlete is that guard and possibly struggling to get where they want to go, struggling to be more recruitment ready, struggling in their confidence, struggling in their basketball IQ or awareness, struggling in their basketball skill set, struggling with getting exposure, then they're probably struggling being recruitment ready. And this class here today is one of the ways, one of the tools that they need to know, that they need to be aware of to make them more recruitment ready. So if anybody, right, was this helpful? Let me just ask this question. Was this helpful to you? Number one, was it helpful to you? Just drop a yes or no. And the second thing, if you're going to share this with your athlete, if you're going to watch this with your athlete, if you're going to sit and discuss these things with your athlete, I want you to drop, I will discuss. If you're going to discuss it with your athlete, if you're going to share it with your athlete, right? I want you to drop, I will discuss. But if it was helpful, yes. But James said yes, it was helpful. Nicole say, very helpful, great information. All right. And if y'all thought that, this was good, just wait until you have an opportunity to work with us. And matter of fact, on Wednesday, right? If you're not part of my email list, right, you should probably go check out my free case study video at BeTheRightRecruit.com, and then check out the video. And that way you can get on our email list to get information, right? I'm sharing this with you because you all are members, right? Members of our Lunch and Learn community. And so I'm sharing it with members of our email list as well as our Lunch and Learn community. This webinar that I'm hosting Wednesday, this Wednesday, the 28th at 7 p.m. This Wednesday at 7 p.m., I am hosting a webinar, right? Learn the tools needed to help your high school guard become more recruitment ready and successful on and off the court. That's what we're doing. Helping you understand the tools needed to help your high school guard become more recruitment ready and successful on and off the court. So you definitely want to go get registered for this webinar. It's going to be June 28th at 7 p.m. That's the link, right? bit.ly/B2BSD parent. B2BSD parent. Make sure that your spouse, right, as well as your athlete is on, right? Your spouse and your athlete will be on taking in this information, right? Nicole said she would discuss. James said she would discuss. James said his son is watching it with him right now. Okay, perfect. James, what city and state are you in? What city and state are you in, and what grade is your athlete in? But you all definitely want to go get registered, right? At bit.ly/B2BSD parent, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, right? I'm in Chicago, Central Standard Time. Learn more about the tools needed to be able to help your athlete, right, become more recruitment ready and successful on and off the court. It's summertime and it's about to be July. We want to make sure that July, when they're going out, right, back live periods, you know, that they have the tools and know the things necessary. Because listen, what good is it for your athlete to go to a live session? You all go to the Peach Jam, or you all go to Vegas, or you all go to NYLA, whatever they call it, right? N2Y. I don't want to mess it up, right? I'm not into that. I'm not like on this circuit, right? But you go to Under Armour or something. What good is it for your athlete to do all those things? And now they have a pretty good showing physically, but they don't have any other tools to make them recruitment ready. So now when a coach has a conversation with them, and when the coach is asking a question like, hey, what's your Twitter handle? Hey, what's your Instagram page? What's your TikTok? What's your Snapchat, right? What's your Facebook? And your athlete can't produce anything for them. Or when they do produce it, the coach is like, ooh, like that jump shot ain't that good to deal with this. And also as a parent, be prepared, right? They may ask you. So your athlete may be cool in the game, but are you online twerking? And hey, if you twerk, that's on you, right? Whatever. That's the first thing that came to mind. What if you on there brandishing weapons? What if you're on there gangbanging, right? What if you're on there, right, like smoking and drinking or doing drugs, or like what tools can you pull out your toolbox and say, this is going to put us in a better position than majority of these people at this live period? And that's what your athlete needs to know. That's what they need to understand. Because what good is it, right? What good is it? What it's a book, right? It's the #1 seller in the world, right? And it's business oriented, entrepreneurship oriented, personal development oriented, right? And it says, like, what good is it to gain the whole world but lose your soul? That book is the Bible, right? What good is it to gain the whole world but lose your soul? What good is it for you to do all that traveling, spend all that money to go to an exposure event, but then your athlete doesn't perform well because of the confidence or the IQ or the awareness, and they become exposed? What if they do perform well, but they don't have any other tools to be able to then close the deal? That's what I want y'all to understand. Okay, James, you're in Kansas. Okay, 10th grade. Yep, yep, yep. Okay, retired military. Thank you for your service, man. Thank you for your service, right? I always thank you for your service, right? Yep. Facebook user. Yep. What good is it, right? I don't know your name, Facebook user. Maybe you probably not. I don't know. Maybe sometime when it come up, Facebook user, it's something you didn't put your name in something, and then Facebook doesn't see that. But I would love to know your name, right? Facebook user, right? Oh, I see it. That's my man T Hill. Hey, what the biggest room that you can step in is the room of opportunity. That's what my man T Hill say, right? He is retired military also, James, right? He and his wife retired military, right? One of my business associates, his kids play also. But this social media thing is huge, right? What are your athletes doing and how are they conducting themselves on social media? Lady CV, what's up? What's up on Instagram? How you doing? So I want this to be helpful for you all. But if you all haven't had a chance, right, make sure that you go get registered. June 28th, 7 o'clock p.m. This webinar that I'm doing, right, where I will teach and you'll learn the tools needed to be able to help your high school guard become more recruitment ready and successful on and off the court. All right. So that's about it. I wanted to make sure, right, that I came on here and that I gave you all this great information because I know it's useful for me, but I also know that I have line athletes out, and I know of many coaches that have stopped dealing with athletes because of this one thing here. That, my friends, is social media. All right. So listen, make sure that you go get registered for our webinar on Wednesday. We still have 3 weeks left in our summer intensive, right? Our online summer program has been going exceptionally well. Athletes have been learning during our office hours. The parents have been contacting me. Hey, my athlete did this in the last game, right? They showed up and they did this. This is improving in just 2 weeks. In just 2 weeks, I have a few testimonies from athletes, parents, what the first 2 weeks of our summer intensive has helped them do, develop, and become. We got 3 weeks left. Right? And so if anybody is interested in joining our summer intensive, our summer online intensive, just reach out to me, right? We can, figure out how to get you and your athlete in. They will get access to the replays of the last 2 classes, but you definitely want to get them in. Again, this is going on July. You want to make sure when July comes, and then what's next? August, school's about to start. You don't want them to be worried about, am I prepared for the season? Am I prepared to make the team? Am I prepared to play on a team? Am I prepared to do better? So this is the time in the summer where champions are made. This is the time where people step up a level, and they step up a level not only through playing, but through information that's given, but then implementing the information. Why not get your athlete the information that they can use, but then have them implement it? Like you all got this free information today. This particular course, right? This particular class here, do you think that this particular class could have had a charge attached to it? Just yes or no. Do you believe the information in this 45 minutes, 44 minutes and 53 seconds to be exact, do you think that the information presented here could have had a price tag attached to it? Yes, right? Nicole said this information could have had a price tag attached to it. But because I want to help you, right? And I have a coach that says, if you really want to help people, to help them. So because I want to help you, I said, let me go on and let me present this today. Now we have webinars and in our summer intensives and in our regular Hoops Mastery program, right? There are things obviously that our athletes get and our parents get that I don't just share, right? But I still want to give pertinent information to where if you're into implementation, then you can implement those things and you can get success for your athlete and sometimes even yourself. I literally had a parent that says, this helped me more than my athlete. I had a parent a couple of years ago when virtual school came out. One of my parents said, Coach, or Mr. Bailey, I listen to your class every day because I learn more than my son. And her son was getting an A in my class. But if this information can help your athlete, it can also help you and your other kids. And that's why I say share the information, right? Because as my 5-year-old son says, he say, Daddy, and he always say this when he wants something from me, but he a tightwad. But he be like, Daddy, sharing is caring. Sharing is caring. Okay, sharing is caring. How interesting. Okay, so let's share then, right? So when you share it, it'll be given back to you. But if you really want them to get in our summer intensive, reach out to us. It's 3 weeks left. We can definitely get your athlete in, but understand that social media could be that one thing that's hurting your athlete. And they need to learn the tools to be able to help them prepare and become more recruitment ready and put themselves in position to be able to reach all their goals well beyond just being able to shoot a good 3-point shot. My son is good, but the coaches are not teaching him. I'm doing that, and his older brother is AAU coach. We won the Wichita, Kansas National Championship last year in August, trying to keep him motivated. Absolutely, James. Absolutely. Well, guess what, James? You in the right place at the right time with the right company and the right coach. And I always say, right, and I don't talk about coaches, right? But if you say that your son is good, but the coaches are not teaching him, this is what I say because I work with coaches all the time, and I help coaches help their athletes too. And I learned this from, again, the business side, not just the coaching side. But if your athlete's coach does not have a coach, if your athlete's coach is not being coached, you probably should find another coach. If your athlete's coach does not have a coach, you should probably find another coach. And I've had some great coaches. I still have some great coaches, right? One of the most notable coaches, and I'm a name drop that you all probably know, is Dr. Eric Thomas, E.T. the hip hop preacher. That's one of my coaches, right? We got a call tonight, right? My company's been partnered with his company for 3 years now. But it's about personal development. I have a lot of great coaches in the Atlanta area, personal development coach, a marketing coach, right? A business coach, financial education coach. The things that you aren't comfortable with or not but the things in which you aren't a master, you should learn from people that have mastered it. I'm gonna say that again. The things in which you're not a master of, you should probably partner, connect, hire a coach that has mastered it to be able to help you and or your athlete. So a lot of parents are like, hey, I'm gonna do it on my own. But then there are a lot of parents that say, I have no idea where to start. And my athlete's coach can't help me because they can't even help my athlete. Well, you probably want to find another coach. Now, you may not be able to transfer your kid, but that means that you need to probably hire a coach that has been and has gotten people to where they want to go and can help you and your athlete get to where they want to go. So that's just what I always say about finding a coach that has a coach. It's how can you have a coach that doesn't have a coach? Because at some point, it's only so much that they can teach. But if they're constantly being taught, as I learn, I teach, if that makes sense. As I learn, I teach. And there are a lot of coaches, again, we're not talking about coaches, but there are a lot of coaches that heads are this big because they feel like they know everything and nobody can tell them anything. But in order to be a great coach, you have to be a great student. And most educators, most teachers, most coaches are some of the worst students because they feel like they know it all. But the worst type of person that you could be around, and last nugget that I'm gonna give you, let your athlete know they should always ask questions. Because one thing that a coach hates, dislikes, despises is for an athlete to say, oh, I already know that. Oh, I already know how to do that. Because if you already know that, or if you already know how to do that, you wouldn't need a coach. So get your athlete to be receptive, be coachable, and be able to ask questions. But when they say, I already know how to do that, I know this already, it puts them at the back of the line. It puts them at the back of the line. Yep. James say, I know, right? And it's not cheap, right? I have one who is good. There you go. There you go. There you go. Yep. That's why, yep, that's my man G, right? From Cali. As he said, that's why he on here now. Still coachable. Still coachable. So again, make sure that you go, because I'm late. I done ran over, right? I've been on here with y'all for 52 minutes now. 52 minutes. I was planning on being on here for 20 minutes, 25 minutes tops, right? But make sure that you go register for the free webinar, right? June 28th at 7 p.m. Make sure that you go get registered for that. Again, if you want to get your athlete involved in our Hoops Mastery Summer Intensive, right? Our Summer Intensive, we have 3 weeks left, right? And they will probably learn more in those 3 weeks than they probably learn all summer, right? They'll probably learn more about themselves in the game in 3 weeks that they've learned about all summer. Plus, they get the replays to the last 2 weeks, right? So you definitely want to go and get registered for that as well. If you haven't checked out our free case study video, make sure that you go check that out at BeTheRightRecruit.com. All right. So this is Coach Carvel Bailey. I gave y'all a lot of information. I am out of here. Share this again with people that you know that can use it, right? Tag us in it, right? Tag B2BSD in it. Again, and if you missed the reason why you should tag or share, why your athlete should tag or share, go back and rewind this and watch it from the beginning, right? You'll sit and watch a sitcom for 30 minutes, 45 minutes, for an hour, right? But can your athlete learn from that? Maybe, if they're thinking critically, but this, they can directly learn from it. All right. So this Coach Carvel Bailey. I will see you all. Any questions, right? Since we here, any questions? Any questions? Like Quicksilver, any questions? While we're here, let me know if there are any questions. Going once. Going twice. All right, y'all. So I'm gonna drop this testimonial right from an athlete that was in our summer intensive a couple years ago, right? Let's see. Should I transfer? I'm not really sure what the situation is, James, right? So I would probably need a little bit more information on that to really understand if you should transfer your athlete or not. I know that you say that he's a sophomore, and the coaches are not really teaching him. So transferring could mean a lot of things. It could mean residency issues. So now, do you have to move, transfer your son? Or I believe it's your son, right? Not your your son. So like, does it mean moving and uprooting your family to another location in Kansas to put your son in a better situation? Is it beneficial, right? Is the traveling conducive? If okay, you're gonna stay where you're living, but now you're gonna like now he has to travel a little bit further, right? So it's a lot of things that can go into that, right? He's a sophomore now. What level is he playing on? Is he playing, right? And why isn't he playing, or why isn't he playing as much as possible, right? So there are a lot of variables that go into that. And so I want to be responsible and not right, because if a doctor gave you a different diagnosis, it would be medical malpractice. Does that make sense? And so even when I have parents and I have calls all the time, right? Almost each and every day with our discovery calls. But I can offer advice, but we have our discovery calls so that I can get more information about what's really happening. So then I can give the proper information based on my thoughts from what I heard, what's really going on. Because otherwise, it's like medical malpractice, it would be coaching malpractice. And it seems like you're in a situation where it's a lot of coaching malpractice going on, right? But sometimes they don't even know it, right? They're all generalists. What we do, we specialize and be able to help athletes understand the tools needed to help their confidence, IQ, awareness, basketball skill set, and exposure. So, right, to help them become more recruitment ready. So I'm a specialist at that thing. That's why I said I can work with a lot of athletes in all sports, but I'm a specialist at what I do, and I don't try to venture out of what I attempt to do unless I've gotten coached and get a little bit more information on it. How do you get a coach to coach right? What does that mean? Right? Like, so when you say coach right, is that coach to your liking, right? Coach to your athlete's ability, to their strength. So like, what exactly does that mean? You know what I'm saying? So if you want to, schedule a discovery call in which, we can really dig a little bit more into it, then you can definitely do that. But when you say how to get a coach to coach right, I'm not exactly sure what that means in a sense. We was going to Augusta, Georgia to live. Okay. So if you all are going to Georgia, then he's going to transfer anyway, right? And so, like, are you staying in Kansas because of basketball, or are you looking to move to Augusta for more things outside of just your son and basketball? And if you all are moving, then I think that kind of answers the question that he will already have to transfer. Started varsity as a freshman, won multiple awards this year, right? Okay. So you do understand what I'm saying. So he started varsity, right? So again, what's going on, right? Like, get a coach to coach right. What does that mean, right? Maybe you should share one of these lunch and learns with your athlete's coach. You're like, hey, coach, man, I like this is some good information. Like, this guy, Coach Carvel Bailey from Chicago, former college head coach. Like, listen to this. And now you're not having them listen to it like you don't know what you're doing. But again, I'm sharing. Like, my 5-year-old son say, sharing is caring. Because I care about you, coach, and what you do, because my son is connected to you. I want to share this information because I already shared it with my son. My son sat next to me and we watch Coach Bailey when he comes on Lunch and Learns. What if the rest of your athletes had the same information? So sometimes you can approach it that way and like slide it in. All right. Coach just teaches plays only, doesn't teach individual lessons. My wife is a teacher. So I'm stuck here for a while. I'm trying to show up. I appreciate you. Yep, there you go. Right. But Augusta could be a good look. They always look for teachers in Georgia. Right. But yeah, if based on what you're saying, the coaches just teach plays, that probably means that they're just thinking linear and they're not thinking abstract. and life is about the abstract. And if your athlete is just thinking linear, well, what happens when adversity comes? Now they're only thinking this way, and they don't know how to adapt or how to adjust. But again, these are things that we cover in our summer intensive, so reach out to us, and make the investment. A lot of times we invest more time and more money than we have to or we should, because we're doing it in a response instead of proactive. A lot of times we doing it proactively instead of reactively, right? Or a lot of times we're doing it reactively, and based on us doing it reactively, we're spending more money, spending more time to clean up what should have been done the first time proactive. All right. Cuz I love you too, man. Love you too, right? My cousin here, right? I worked with my cousin since maybe he was like 4th or 5th grade. Gave him some of my old high school uniforms back in the day to wear at the park and go out there, right? Played with Patrick Beverly, right? They went downstate a few times. Y'all know Patrick Beverly, right? My cousin played with him. Was a marksman shooter, right? My cousin still holds, right? Jerron Lee Jr. still holds. He's in the NJCAA record books for the number of threes made in a national tournament, right? Went down to Iowa, loved it, enjoyed his time, got an opportunity to go on to play at a 4-year college, right? Played the University of Illinois, in the University of Illinois, still one of the coldest pitchers, right? Shooting that jumper over one of the Illinois defenders, but he learned the information also. Again, I've been doing this for 29 years. We're just rinsing and repeating with different athletes, But my cousin is one that implemented the information that was being given to him. And he had the tools necessary to be able to put himself in a position. Not only could he shoot the ball and could he play great defense, and he had great high school coaches, but he also had a family member that was giving him more information that he can use to go with all the great information and the great players he was playing with. And he was able to have that right in his toolbox and have a coach literally in his toolbox that he could use beyond high school, into junior college, into 4-year college. And even when, like you, James, he transferred 1-4 because it wasn't a good fit. 1 4-year school to another one, right? Was able to get on the phone, boom, boom, boom. All right, cool. And okay, cuz this is what it is. This is what you need. Let's get all these files, all this stuff in order so we can send it out and we can get all this paperwork straight. It's like a rinse and repeat. Like, we've been doing this for a long time. Boo, am I right? Like, we've been doing this for a long time, because and people have success by just following the plan, stay plugged in, following the plan and implementing the plan. All right. So again, yep. I really appreciate it, right? You put so much game on me, help me grow as a great man today. Listen, right? Nothing in this comment, and this is not scripted because my cousin's in a whole nother state right now. Nothing in this comment says basketball. I just told y'all about his basketball accolades. Like, I remember being at the Final Four. Patrick Beverly was in the club, right? And he was walking to, I think, his Maybach. His chauffeur opened the door. Pat was, sitting in the back seat, and I walked up and I whispered, and I was like, told him, Pat, what up? Like Coach Bailey, from Hyde Park, Malcolm X. And I was like, boo my cousin, right? I was able to name drop. And I don't name drop a lot, but name drop my cousin, right? Because, okay, Pat played against a lot of coaches. But when I mentioned my cousin to Pat, Pat was like, oh, boo, that's my man right there. He was like, tell Boo to call me. Like, but this says nothing about basketball. He said, you helped me grow as a man, as a great man today. That's what it's all about, helping your athlete become better, not only on the court, but off the court. So go get registered for that free webinar, right, that we're doing. You definitely want to make sure that you all go get registered for the webinar, because it can change your athlete's perspective. And if they implement the information, it can definitely change their lives. All right. So this is Coach Carvel Bailey. I will talk to you all on the next Lunch and Learn. I'll holla. Peace.
Hi, my name is Abdul Nelson. Over the summer, I was part of Coach Bailey's classes, and it was very helpful for me. It wasn't just helpful in a way for basketball, but it also taught me things in life. Coach Bailey does a great thing with connecting those two, life and basketball. But yeah, Coach Bailey's class has helped me become a better player. It's taught me who I was as a player. Coach Bailey teachings were actually benefit for me, helped me with basketball IQ and even more. So I thank Coach Bailey for that. But yeah, overall the class was a great 6-week. I think it was a 6-week session. It was a great 6-week session for me. Taught me a lot, like I said earlier. Not only have I become smarter on the court, but I've also become smarter off the court. And yeah, it's just been great for me. It was just a great experience for me.
Yo, just so you understand it, this is Coach Carvel Bailey's program with the spirit of Bob Hambry.
This is Blessed to Ball, helping athletes, and we represent. Study your craft, your mentality leads to excellence. It's all about your mindset. We'll never stop addressing this, so be positive and not a pessimist. Confidence took James Harden higher. If you really want it, it ain't gonna be easy. It's gonna be hard as carbon fiber, but we got you. From counseling to workshops, we do it. You'll go farther with a scholarship. We'll help you get recruited. Yo, anyone can dribble and shoot, but it's the ones who study basketball internally that make it to Duke University. Knowledge goes around. The game is played from the neck up and not from the shoulders down. This is Blessed to Ball, helping you with obstacles. The athletes are the rocket. Blessed to Ball is the rocket fuel. If you hit a wall, we can help you slowly climb it. So keep a Mamba mentality like Kobe Bryant.
Blessed to Ball.
Cherish the opportunities that you have.
Blessed to Ball.
Use your mentality to master the craft.
Blessed to Ball.
Come join our team, it's a new day. Follow our steps and watch how much better you play.
Blessed to Ball.
Cherish the opportunities that you have.
Blessed to Ball.
Use your mentality to master the craft.
Blessed to Ball.
Come join our team, it's a new day. Follow our steps and watch how much better you play. Yo, Coach Carvel Bailey. Hey, listen to your coach, man. He ain't no scrub off the street. That man got credentials, academic and street. Believe it, and my name is strategic.